We have got largest facility to provide micronutrients. We have got a very large facility of biofertilizers facilities. We have got water soluble fertilizer facility which are pretty large considering other manufacturers in the country. And we are into general insurance, into rural communication, food processing through the SEZ. We are into social forestry by way of a non-profit organization of Indian Farm Forestry Development Cooperative. We have Cooperative Rural Development Trust, which goes into teaching and training of farmers for sustainable agriculture. We have plants outside India into West Africa and Senegal. We have plants in Oman, in Middle East. We have plants in Jordan. We have trading companies. And we are also into oil exploration and gas business. But today I am going to talk something different. And why I gave you this background of info, that you will understand and you may appreciate it, that we won't talk something from the heart. We believe that the only thing constant in the world is change. And over the centuries, if you see, there was a time when centuries were needed for taking the change. When time came, when years were needed to make a change, then became days, and today it is minutes. Unfortunately, governance all over the world has not changed with the changing of technology. The 21st century is a technology century. It's not going to be driven by the government. It's going to be driven by the technology. If we accept this major fact, then we can solve a lot of problems of our country and the worldwide. There is a dissatisfaction with the youth because they can't wait. They are not used to waiting. They are different generation. They are generation of this technology. Anyone whose mind is beyond 30 years of age and cannot have ability to change itself or to absorb the change will become incompetent and will not be able to govern or be able to sustain the organization which one is running. I am not talking about governance in the country alone. When I talk about governance, it's governance of your home, it's the management of your home. After all, governance is management. So it could be management of your home, it could be management of your company, it could be management of your education institution. Anything which you are managing will not be able to manage if you forget that technology is not needed and they can do away without technology. That is where lies the basic difference of conflict, and that's the worldwide, the conflicting situation. And it will keep on happening in our country also. And it will accentuate, it will not reduce. And time will come, and time has come when the students took it on the street in Hong Kong. The Arab Spring was part of the student movement. The youth is not prepared to wait. Please understand it. And if you don't understand, you will be swept off. Same thing lies with agriculture. See, since independence, since 47, and I would say in early 30s, when the movement started, for the farmer movement, that farmers are being exploited by zamindars. And zamindari removal became that time Congress party's main plan for providing land to the one who is stealing. From there, if you look at the movement which is happening in our country, which has happened, then you will see the genesis of our agriculture development. And since 47, everybody, every government, every person talks of development of farmer and agriculture. But why farmers are more and more poor? Why farmers is to be given the doles, so-called doles? I will call it a right. But why farmers doles are being given? Why you have a dearness allowance for the city people, for urban people, but farmers there is no dearness allowance? If price of potato goes up, you say I will import. And when there is a glut for potatoes, who is going to buy it? They burn it. It's cheaper for them to burn it. Then you can say, don't burn it, where it's going to cause pollution. If I produce a button, I can sell it anywhere. But I produce 1 gram of wheat, I will take it to the mandi, give it to the agent which is appointed by the government and sell through him. And he will decide what price I will get. I will not be able to decide my price. So under these circumstances, when majority of media, majority of government people, majority of our city people, majority of our press people, they talk of support to farmers, that's not a real thing. That's not something you are talking from your heart. You are trying to keep your prices low. You are trying to keep your budget balanced. You are not bothered about what happens to farmers. And so, I would say, in 77, to save few units of fertilizer manufacturers which were from South unit basically, this so-called retention price scheme came through Maratha Chemical in 77 and 38 years back. So that's the genesis of our fertilizer subsidy scheme. Going to industry, we are the people who are nearest to farm. So we have been telling it, there is a simplest solution of technology. And I talked about it recently on the article which was appeared by Mr. Harish Damodaran in Indian Express. And I am telling you simplest way by which it can be done, provided there is a way to do it. You have in country Jam Trinity, Jan Dhan, Aadhaar, Mobile. You have RuPay cards. Out of 15 crore Jan Dhan cards, Jan Dhan accounts which have been opened, I believe 12.5 crore people have been issued RuPay cards. You have Kisan card, you have Aadhaar. Now what he needs is his swipe machine. I said we have 36,000 cooperative societies. We will provide swipe machine to these societies. These societies are all numbered, these swipe machines have all number. Any number we all know which swipe machine belongs to which society. And for first year, simply you ask and anybody who wants to buy fertilizer as a reiki, he has to buy fertilizer first year by swiping the card.
And that data gets captured in a software which is available with Government of India. We have a mobile FMS system today which is virtual. It's from back-to-back count. It's time. As on today, if it is swapped, immediately you will know what is. And I believe by 5th of every next month, last month data has to be captured. And this is captured. So we have all data. But as abundant precaution for first year, what we can do is we can distribute this card. Now everybody has some card. He has either Aadhaar card, or he has a RuPay card, or he has a Kisan card. And while buying fertilizer from a society or from a dealer, he swaps the card. And then it recognizes, okay, yes, taken 4 bags of urea, maybe 3 bags of DAP, maybe 2 bags of NPK, maybe some potash, maybe some zinc sulfate, maybe some macronutrients. And that is captured. And in that capturing, what happens, we have already also done a pilot project in which the farmer's name, his address, everything gets captured. Because these cards have got identity of the person and that can be recognized. So in the process, let's suppose he has taken fertilizer worth 5,000 rupees or 4,000 rupees, subsidized amount, which can become his entitlement next year. So let's suppose he has taken 20 bags of urea in Kharif, 30 bags of urea in Rabi, 10 bags of urea in Kharif, 10 bags of DAP in Kharif, 20 bags of DAP in Rabi. Let's suppose he has taken 7 bags of NPK in Kharif, 5 bags of NPK in Rabi. So this subsidy of these bags becomes his entitlement. So let's suppose it's come to 4,000 rupees, 5,000 rupees, 6,000 rupees, whatever it comes to. That becomes his entitlement. So in Kharif, let's suppose he has taken 3,000 rupees worth of goods. In Rabi, he has taken 2,000 rupees, so 5,000 rupees becomes. Next year on that card, you please preload for Kharif. So starting April to September is we consider as Kharif, which is Kharif is summer crop. And October to March we consider Rabi, which is a winter crop. So in April, you preload his card. That okay, you are entitled for 3,000 rupees, preload. Now that becomes his entitlement. Now that card can be used only for purchasing fertilizer or micronutrients or zinc sulfate, nothing else. Because number of times I heard people saying, oh, why he will use, when you give him money, he will not use it for his for agriculture. So I'll come back on that a little later. That becomes his entitlement. Next year, he is free to buy from anybody, from any source. He is free to buy any nutrient which is required by him. It's not necessary that he must buy urea, he must buy DAP, he must buy NPK. He can buy, maybe he needs more of boron, so he can buy boron more. That he needed in soil more. Maybe he is going to have kind of crop which needs more sulfur. Maybe he can buy SSP more. So he has become entitled, he become empowered. He will become the master of his destiny, which is being decided by somebody else. So I say the time has come where 68 years after I say, I am holding your hand. Please don't hold his hand. Do you want somebody else to hold your hand and tell you what to do? When you are employed, when you get salary, you decide what you are going to do with it. Farmer doesn't have that right. He has the right. He doesn't want your dose. You want food grain? Yes, he will produce it. He is not obliged to produce it. If he tomorrow decides, I will not produce, what can you do? So please don't talk in terms of that I have mercy for farmer, I won't do this for farmer. Please, stop holding his hand. Allow him to decide his own destiny. And this system will provide him the voice, will provide him the strength, will make him independent. He will decide what is good for him. The person who has supplied him the seed is more powerful than him. He will silently suffer. So if you don't want him to suffer, give him this money directly. He is entitled to get it. And you have provided a platform now. The platform is there, so please don't say there is no platform. You want to give agriculture implement? Why should some company, there are some companies named, they will say, oh, I will sell tractors. So you give me, subsidy is given for tractors. Why should you specify from where you should buy? You want to give subsidy for agriculture implements? Give money directly. He will decide from which company to buy, which is a better product to buy. You are giving food subsidy? Yes. Why can't you transfer directly to the system? So technology today is there by which you can avoid these distortions in agriculture. And they are serious distortions. You are saying, I am giving free water, I am giving free electricity. Don't give him all these things. He doesn't want it. It's only those people who are trying to exploit these poor people, who are saying, oh, provide the free water, provide free electricity. Those who want them to vote, they say, provide, I will give you free electricity. What the hell? Whose money it is? It's our money. Who will say, I will give free electricity? Give him his crop. When, you see, if Pakistan can pay $330 for the wheat, then why should he pay $230? He is entitled to get $100 more. So don't say, I will give you free power. You give him a proper price, and he will have capacity to buy. He will have capacity to be his own master. So when IFFCO talks of direct benefit transfer to farmer, it talks for empowerment of them. Because we are their organization, and we will always talk for their welfare. And you are here. Your interest is inflation. Inflation is there in what have you ever looked at inflation for him? No. Have you written any inflation about him? No. When he gets better price and middleman is avoided, then we can talk of inflation. If he is getting something which is more than what is normally a person should earn, but he is not able to make his even 2 ends meet. With the present price kind of pricing, the present price of weather phenomena which is happening, there is global warming which is happening, which is again, you are giving a price, you are giving urea at such a ridiculously low price as 5 rupees 30 paisa a kilo. They are inciting him to spoil his soil. You know what the urea does to the soil? It mines the good nutrients from the soil. It increases the height. It brings better color. But it doesn't increase the yield as much as it requires for phosphate and potash to have the proper bones and proper disease resistant varieties. The protein to be provided to the food grain, which is missing because you are continuously giving only doses of urea. It goes and spoils your underground water. You know that in today's villages, it is impossible to drink from those well water, which was cheap source of water for them. We are spoiling our rivers. There is pollution from industry which is spoiling the rivers. And nobody talks about it. So in our country, what we need, gentlemen, ladies, we have to appreciate what they really need. And they need to be empowered by way of directly getting the benefits and taking his own decision, and he is capable of taking it. We should stop taking decision about it. So gentlemen and ladies, my request is in this forum today, that if you really want our country to progress, if you really want good management of agriculture, if we want sustainable agriculture, if we want that we don't repeat of 67 when PL 480 was coming from US, if you want sustainable agriculture to be there, if you want global warming to be contained in our country, please look at the whole scenario. Please don't look at your comfort only. Please look at that way where the really problem lies and where solution needs to be come. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you, Countess, for giving me the opportunity to be here. And I will take any question from anyone. I deserve at least one question. Don't say there is no question.
Hello. Yeah, my name is Pankaj, and I'm from an organization called Urban Farmers, and we help city people grow their own food at their home. So my question to you is, that you talked about information technology at the end of like maybe disbursement of benefits. I want to understand from you like which other areas this information technology can like kind of maybe if I could use that term, revolutionize it for the farmers, like kind of, and for that matter, like kind of towards the knowledge enhancement, skill enhancement of farmer, like how do you see that?
No, already we have the IFCO Kisan Sanchar, through which we are continuously giving. Every day we are giving 5 messages. Anybody can ask 5 questions. We reply 5 questions free, which is related to his livestock, which is related to agriculture. All that we do. But also there is a communication like our societies, our people on the ground. They organize farmers meeting, farmers melas. We also organize melas for their livestock. What kind of disease can come, that information all we provide. So we try to provide it through the handheld devices, through mobile phones, and also through the literature in the language. Like in Karnataka, it will go into Kannada. Our even IKSL's messages go in that state's language, which is prime language of that state. We try to give the information. And also our printed material is there. Besides this, what we do, we take vans into different areas. We do agriculture. We also, whatever we can do, something like 1 lakh sample here we are doing for soil testing also. We give information to them what kind of soil testing is there. But we are a company. We have a limit. We just try to act as a catalyst. But what is needed is larger participation, which I am very happy to, that Prime Minister started that I will give health, soil health cards. It's a very good initiative. Jan Dhan was a very good initiative, I would say. There's Pradhan Mantri Suraksha Bima Yojana, Pradhan Mantri Jeevan Jyoti Yojana is a good scheme. We also have had, in fact, last 15 years we are running a scheme called Sankat Haran Bima Yojana, in which a farmer buys our member, because we are first give fertilizer to our member. Member buys from the society, he get entitled to an accident insurance for free of cost for each bag of fertilizer, 4,000 rupees. Subject to matching of about 1 lakh rupees. We have distributed so far about 96 crore rupees under this scheme as a benefit, and we covered about 1,46,000 families. We also planted in our IFFDC 1.41 crore survived plants. Out of, we planted about 3 crore plants. So all that we are doing as an organization, but what I am trying to say is, these are fringe. Actual thing is when farmer get money in his hand.
In fact, like, I would love to have a specific answer to when you're saying fringe or small efforts, like kind of, so I want to know the historicity of the efforts which you talked about in terms of information dissemination, the extensiveness of it, and maybe if there's an impact assessment done around your efforts. Like.
Yeah, assessment also we have done a lot. Like we have taken, we have got one program called Save the Soil campaign. So non-Hindi speaking state we call Save the Soil campaign, and Hindi speaking we say Bhumi Bachao Abhiyan. In that thing, when we have organized a program of doing the agriculture by way of green manuring, organic manure, biofertilizer, and balanced fertilizer application with micronutrients, the yield has increased averagely by about 35%. And one of the villages, the wheat yield became double with that process. So today, you see the fertilizer when 77, when fertilizer application happened in our country, started happening. I'm talking of before 77. Say when green revolution started, sometime early 70s. Then that time 1 gram of fertilizer was giving 19 gram of additional yield. Today it is practically 1:1.8. And when we do something like Bhumi Bachao Abhiyan or in balanced fertilizer application, then we get about 3 times. So, and also there is RBI study, Reserve Bank of India study 2 years back with the commission, and they found 5 million ton of urea which was applied in the soil was not available to the plants. That was a waste. And that's what we have been telling, that the price of urea is such that it is distorting the agriculture and not being used for agriculture. And that's something which is not good for anybody. So the best solution is, politically you may not be able to raise price. I can see that. But then the best solution is, give the money directly to them. Let them decide. So when they will decide what kind of soil they will, what kind of nutrient they want to buy, they will decide themselves. Please. Last question I was talking.
Sir, my name is Ganesh Ramamurthy from CML. Very stimulating lecture from you, sir.
I can't hear you. You can come nearby.
Sir, my name is Ganesh Ramamurthy. I am from National Collateral Management Services Limited. It was a very stimulating lecture from you. I have 2 questions. One question is, what is the universe of farmers that are part of IFFCO cooperative, and what is the remaining, in the entire universe of Indian farmers? How many are part of the cooperative? How many are outside it? If they are outside it, why are they still outside? Can they not be made part of the cooperative? That's number 1. Number 2, in the morning session, I heard so many experts saying that there are maybe about 26 subsidy schemes for farmers, out of which their knowledge of subsidy schemes may be limited to 6 or 7. And the existence of such subsidy schemes are also not
I could follow your question. Can you come nearby? First of all, our 36,000 societies are Indian societies only, not outside India.
No, I am talking of Indian societies. So are there any farmers who are not part of the cooperative? And how many would be there?
No. In country there are 6,47,000 cooperatives that way.
Right.
But there are 36,000 who are our members. but they are the practicing farmer.
Right. So the other question is the idea, the morning session, I heard that large number of subsidy schemes, the farmers are unaware of it.
That's I'm saying, what is your scheme? Why don't you give them money directly? They will decide themselves, give them all money. Why are you saying they have not learned, they have
They
not
already
known?
exist.
That's what dole you want to give now. I'm saying no doles. Don't look at them with pity. Don't hold their hand. They don't need your hand.
Skip all the subsidies.
Give them money. Don't say, I will decide your fate. You are nobody to decide your fate. Somebody is going to decide your fate. You will decide yourself.
Sure.
So why should you say the farmer, I will decide farmer's fate? Give him money directly. Let him decide his fate. They don't want your support. They don't want your dole.
Thank you.
सर एक सवाल मैं थाली को किसान वाली मीटिंग में था मैं आपसे का सवाल पूछ लेता हूँ खाद का मतलब होता है पैदावार बढ़ाने टेक्नोलॉजी है हमारे देश में लेकिन उसका ठीक से इस्तेमाल नहीं किया जा रहा अगर आप सारे के सारे चीज को तो हमारे देश में बीज पूरा मिलता ही है किसान को अच्छी क्वालिटी का अगर उस बीज को मैग्नेट से ट्रीट किया जाए मैग्नेटिज्म तो 30% रिजल्ट 30% उसकी पैदावार बढ़ जाती है अगर लो रेडिएशन दें आप लो रेडिएशन गामा रेज के बहुत लो रेडिएशन तो उससे भी पैदावार बढ़ती है
ठीक है, आप बैठ जाइए, मैं आपको, आपने सुना है?
पूरी बात
बैठ जाइए, मैं
पूरा
बता रहा
सवाल
हूँ,
सुनिए।
आपने मेरी बात सुनी नहीं।
तो मैं सवाल पूछ रहा हूँ पूछ
नहीं, आप बताइए नहीं, आप बैठ
इसमें
जाइए।
हमारा नहीं तो खर्चा लगता है ज्यादा वो कहते हैं ना नमक लगे नहीं फटकरी रंग भी आए चौका
मैं वही बता रहा हूँ आपको।
इसमें आप क्यों है तो करते क्यों नहीं है और नहीं है तो हम सारा इसमें इसको
मैं वही आपका जवाब दे रहा हूँ, मैं आपकी बात समझ गया। पहली बात क्या थे नहीं आप, मैंने ये कहा है कि आप उसको पैसे दे दो फार्मर को, उसको डिसाइड करने दो उसको क्या चाहिए, उसको केमिकल फर्टिलाइजर चाहिए नहीं चाहिए। यदि आपके मैग्नेटिक ट्रीटमेंट से उसको फर्टिलाइजर नहीं लगाना है तो बेटर उसका पैसा बचेगा। उसको क्यों फर्टिलाइजर लगाना चाहिए, नहीं लगाना चाहिए, उसको डिसाइड करने दिए ना फार्मर को। आप और हम कौन होते डिसाइड करने वाले? मैं तो इसी बात को कह रहा हूं ना कि आप उसकी उंगली क्यों पकड़े हुए हो, उसको छोड़ो, वो अपने आप चलना चाहता है, उसको चलने दो। आपका जो ट्रीटमेंट है बहुत अच्छा है, आपका ट्रीटमेंट है तो करने दीजिए। हम तो चाहते हैं फर्टिलाइजर फैक्ट्रियां बंद हो जाए, क्या जरूरत है? वातावरण को हम दूषित कर रहे हैं, पानी को हम दूषित कर रहे हैं। आपको फर्टिलाइजर प्रोडक्शन चाहिए, उसको पैसे आप दो, उसको डिसाइड करने दो वो क्या करेगा। तो आप होते शायद ये सवाल पूछते नहीं, मैं तो आप ही की बात बोल रहा हूं। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद, आपने मैं सुना, धन्यवाद।